Hello passengers, my name is Jonah, welcome aboard to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at something that I've been wanting to get for the past couple of weeks ever since Railroad Days, which is perfect timing because these last few videos have all of course been about Railroad Days, and so this is a nice little follow-up. With that being said, before we get started, a little backstory. So back at Railroad Days this year, when I was waiting for the last train of the day before I left for this year, which was the Canadian Pacific Hopper Freight, I would use the normal tactic that I would always use ever since I've started railfanning when I was little, and that is literally look down the track if I can see the headlights of the engine, or simply look at the signals and see if it's changed from red to either yellow or green. Now obviously that's not very useful whatsoever because it's not very reliable. And so when I was sitting around with my parents waiting for the train to finally arrive, I noticed several railfanners that were around me actually had a few scanners on their hands. And I was thinking to myself, you know what, after all these years of using that same old tactic that's not very reliable whatsoever, I think it's finally time to invest some money into getting myself an actual scanner to make things a lot more easier whenever I railfan. And so after the last train went by, I immediately went online and started searching for a scanner that I could potentially look into purchasing. And after searching through websites like Amazon and other websites that I came across, I decided to go to trusty eBay to see if I can get my hands on maybe like an open box one, or hopefully maybe a brand new one, but I severely doubted that I would be able to get that lucky. But if I had no other choice to get a used one, I would have gone for one anyway. So after several hours of searching for one, I eventually found one that was pretty much one of the things I was looking for, and that was which was this model, the Uniden Bearcat BC75XLT, for a whopping $45. Now the great thing was that it was an open box, but it was barely even used, and so I was not very skeptical at all. I was pretty confident that this would be the one that I would get, but unfortunately I didn't have enough money at the time to get one, and so I eventually just put it in my cart and just left it like that for the next couple of days until I eventually had enough money to actually purchase it. And so we forward a few days later, and I eventually had enough money to purchase the scanner. But then when I tried going on eBay and looking for the listing again, I noticed something very unusual, and that was that the listing wasn't there. And so I went to my cart and went to see if it was actually still there, and I found out that it was unfortunately sold. And so I was feeling like I was beat, but I went ahead and continued on with my searching to look for another scanner. But after a few minutes of searching around, I eventually found a diamond in the rough, and this was the one that I severely doubted that I would be able to get, and that is a completely brand new, never opened scanner. And I was like, this can't be right. And I noticed that it was pretty much the exact same price as the other one that I was looking for that was open box, and I was like, that's insane. And so I immediately purchased it, and then I waited a couple of days for the scanner to arrive, and then immediately when I got it, I immediately tested it out at my local railroads and stuff like that. And let me tell you, this thing was a game changer, especially with what tactics I was using before. But with that being said, it was an incredible experience the first few days I've had it. But with the first couple of weeks I've used this thing, I eventually found its limits in its stock condition. Now that does not mean that I had to change the internals of the scanner. It was simply just doing something that every other scanner user would get, and that would be an extension antenna, but we'll get into that later. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the channel the Uniden Bearcat BC75XLT 300 channel scanner. So this is definitely one of the best scanners you can get out there at this time. A lot of railfanners have recommended getting a Uniden Bearcat scanner. Now, I did eventually find out that there is two models that were recommended. Now, the one that was recommended the most was the Uniden Bearcat BC125XLT, which is pretty much the bigger brother or bigger sister to the 75 model. Pretty much the difference with the 125 model is that it's not a 300 channel scanner, it's indeed a 500 channel scanner. But you know, I honestly don't think I would ever reach 500 different frequencies anytime soon, so I was perfectly fine with 300, and it's literally just 200 less. And second of all, the second thing I noticed is that the 125 model was slightly more advanced than the 75 model, especially with the LCD screen. The LCD screen is a relatively nicely sized one in the scanner, but on the 125 model, it's slightly taller. And because it's slightly taller, it actually has some extra features on the 125 model that the 75 doesn't have. Like, for example, you can actually name each frequency you programmed into your scanner, which is actually a pretty cool feature. But on this one, you're not able to do that. You're simply just left with being able to put in the frequency, and that's pretty much it. But I'm not gonna let an advanced and luxury feature destroy what I love about the scanner, because this thing actually is relatively simpler. So if you don't want to be too advanced with the 125 model, and you want to be a beginner like I am, who wants things a lot more simplistic so it's easier to figure it out, I definitely recommend getting the BC75 model. So before we go ahead and take a look at the actual unit itself, let's go ahead and take a look at the box so I can quickly show you guys some of the features. And also, if you're someone who's particularly thinking about getting one of these as well, I do want to show you guys what it looks like inside, so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into when you think about purchasing one of these. So as you can tell on the box, let me go ahead and zoom out real quick so it's a little bit easier to look at here. So as you can tell on the top, it says Uniden Bearcat Portable Scanner 300 channel scanner. On the top, as you can tell, it's advertised as a scanner that you would use for weather reports. As you can tell, you have a thunderstorm over here with a lightning bolt, a blizzard, tornado, and then of course flooding. It says right here, listen to reports going directly to the emergency agencies as hazardous events unfold. Cover the bands used by amateur radio operators for emergency reporting: 2-meter band, 70-meter band, 300 user programmable channels. Includes 25 through 54 megahertz, 108 through 174 megahertz, and 406 through 512 megahertz. And it's compatible with narrowband VHF/UHF systems. And up in the bottom here it says close call, which I'll get into in just a few minutes. Now up on the side you have some features. So right here it says 300 channels, 10 channel storage rings, close call RF capture technology, so that's what close call is. PC programming, temporary lockout, service bands, priority scan with do not disturb, scan slash search delay slash resume, wow, resume, quick search, turbo search, search lockouts, display backlight, close call do not disturb, flexible antenna with BNC connector, memory backup, triple conversion circuitry, 3 power options, custom search, built-in USB charger, key confirmation tones, key lock, battery save, and last but not least, battery alert, or battery low alert. And that is the serial number with the QR code. So up on the back you have it in a different language, as well as the other side as well. As you can tell, it does have the Intertech Energy Performance Verified sticker on the bottom. Nothing too much on the bottom, just pretty much tells you what this package is included, such as the scanner, antenna, USB cable with strap, and printed materials. Requires 2 AA batteries, not included. Use 2300 rechargeable batteries or alkaline batteries, and then of course the wiring stuff and stuff like that. So it's a very nice packaging. I do really like the packaging. So when you go ahead and open this thing up, there's nothing really too much interesting, which you would pretty much expect. Over here just has like, if you need let me zoom in real quick. It says like, if you need assistance, please do not return this product to your place of purchase. Our customer care specialists are available to help you and stuff like that. So just another warning. So when you go ahead and open this up, you'll notice it's a box instead of a box. And then you lift up this lip and you'll notice your BC75XLT owner manuals. Now, obviously, it's in 2 different languages. These, of course, are something that you want to definitely keep when you don't remember a feature or you don't know how to use your scanner. I've definitely used the manual quite a few times when I first used it. So mine particularly came with these little advertisements like police scanner 411.com, receive a free police scanner toolkit and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. And also like item defective, contact them. I think the original owner of this scanner ordered this on Amazon and then of course resold it. So that's why it does say like, encounter problems or have any questions, please contact us directly via Amazon. So that pretty much tells you that the original owner did purchase this from Amazon and stuff like that. So as you can tell, obviously there's nothing in there because I don't have the scanner in there, but pretty much you would have let me go ahead and remove this out. So you would have the USB charger sitting in here. Obviously the scanner would be sitting on top of it, and then over here you would have the antenna separately, and then all you have to do is just connect the antenna to your scanner and then you would pretty much be all set. So let me go ahead and put these things back in. Now, like I said, while I'm putting this stuff away, I'm not going to do a full review because obviously I'm still a very big amateur when it comes to this. I'm not an expert, so I'm still learning a few features, still learning how to use the scanner, so I'm not an expert yet, and it'll still take a couple of years until I'm an actual expert when it comes to using the scanners. So I'm not going to be great when it comes down to telling you every single feature, but I'm pretty much just going to do a quick overview and show you guys what this thing is capable of. So let's go ahead and move the camera down and show you guys what the actual scanner looks like. It's a very beefy and it does feel very durable. You expect that from a high quality product, which this is. So as you can tell on top, it does say Uniden BC75XLT in between the LCD. Here is your number pad right here. Now you have your feature buttons over here, but I do want to mention real quick that you may notice that there is these orange buttons, and that's because you have to press the function button. Like if you were to press on a keyboard on a PC, where you would have to press a function button in order to access other features on your keyboard or on your computer. So we'll get into that later. Now up on the top you have your antenna, of course. You have your headphone jack, just in case if you want to use headphones, and you have here your knob. Now this knob serves as 3 different features. The one that's on the top is pretty much the default feature that this thing is always on, and that is selecting your programmed frequencies that is on your scanner. The second one is volume. All you have to do for that, you just have to press the knob and then you turn it to whatever volume you want it to. It goes all the way up to 15, so this thing is pretty loud for any type of situation you need to use this for. And then the last one is in the orange color because you have to press the function button in order to use this one. That is the squelch. Pretty much what the squelch is, I'm not an expert in saying exactly what it is, but pretty much what it is, it allows the scanner to capture weaker or stronger signals. So if you have the squelch at a lower number, it will be able to capture the weaker frequencies, which is obviously very useful when it comes down to railfanning, because you do want to capture the weaker signals, because that tells you that the particular train that you're listening to or the particular engineer that you're listening to that's far away is getting closer to your location. So that obviously will allow you to start getting ready for your video and whatever. We'll get into that later as we go ahead and turn this on. So up in the back we have our little clip on it, so you can go ahead and clip this onto your belt if you want to clip it onto your belt, classic police style. On the back you have your label on it, but you can't read too much of it because the clip is on the way. But you can actually remove this clip if you don't need it. You just want to carry it on, or you just want to use the strap and you don't need to use the clip. You can do that if you wanted to, because all you need to do is just simply remove these 2 Phillips screws and then you'll be good to go. Now up in the back here you have your battery compartment. As you can tell, I do have a label on the back with my name on it. That's just to make sure that if I do end up losing this, people will know exactly what I'm who this scanner belongs this to. Now, as you can tell, I do have some batteries or rechargeable batteries put into this thing. Now, as you can tell on the bottom of the box, it did say uses alkaline or rechargeable batteries. Now, the reason why it says that is because if you look inside of the battery compartment, you'll notice a very small switch, and one of them says ALK, and then the other one says NI-MH. Now, it's extremely important that you pay attention to the switch, because you don't want to make the mistake of putting in the wrong batteries with the switch, put in the wrong position. Because if you have it in the NI-MH position and you go ahead and put normal alkaline batteries in it, cause some major problems, and you might have to get a new unit. Now, the reason why this switch is in here in the first place is because it did say that you are able to charge your batteries through the scanners. So if you look over here, if you take off the small cover, you'll notice that there is a USB right here. So that means that you're going to actually be able to plug in your scanner, and that will be charging your batteries through the scanner itself. So it's extremely useful, so you don't have to like take out the batteries, put in a new set it, and you can simply just plug it directly into the scanner, and you'll be able to charge your batteries without having to take them out and put new ones in. So it's an extremely useful feature, and it allows people to even be able to put in their own batteries if they wanted to. They don't have to put alkaline only or rechargeable only. They can choose whatever batteries they want. I went with the decision of using rechargeable batteries, so I don't have to like use up all the battery of the normal alkaline and then have to throw those away and then put new ones in. With rechargeable, of course, they're rechargeable, and so all you have to do is just recharge them, and then they'll be good to go for the next day you use your scanner. So it's very useful when you use these rechargeable batteries. So moving on, so without further ado, let's go ahead and power this thing on, and let me show you a few features that this thing is capable of. So immediately when I turn it on, it's in its scan feature. So let's go to my personal or programmed frequencies that I have on here. So the first one that I have is my hometown railroad frequency, which is the Geneva subdivision. It is the frequency of 160.890. The next one that I have is Franklin Park, which is 161.520. And then last but not least, the one that I have so far is the freight yard that's right across the street from the Geneva subdivision, which is the freight yard. So I don't know why I have this one after the Franklin Park frequency, but I just kind of had like that, and that's nothing really to worry about. I just kind of use that as an extra step. But anyway, that's pretty much at a Unity. Because I'm in the basement, you're not really able to capture any frequencies, right, or any signals. And also, one other problem I do encounter with is that also there's just no signals going through because there's no one talking. But so that's pretty much a normal stuff. But what if you go ahead and go to search? So what search does is it pretty much just searches any frequencies from whatever you want. But if you go ahead and press the function button,
30 miles per hour.
Let me go ahead and turn that down. Oh,
mostly sunny.
I didn't want to tune out.
Highs in the
There we
lower
go. So if you go ahead and press the function and you press the SVC button, what that will do is it will be able to search specific types of frequencies. So WX stands for weather, but if you were to continue searching through, I forget what POL stands for, but I pressed had it there for too long. So you have fire, marine, race, air. I forgot what HAM stands for. I had it in for too long. Rail, of course, and CB. I forgot what that stands for too. And then other, if none of the presets, I guess you could say, on the like weather or race or rail applies to the frequency that you want to connect to, it would obviously be in the other category. So let me go ahead and turn this up, and you'll be able to hear the weather program in my area, which is Illinois.
Highs in the upper 60s. Chance of precipitation 40%. Sunday night through Tuesday, mostly clear. Lows in the upper 40s in the suburbs. in the lower 50s downtown. Highs in the mid-60s. Tuesday night.
So as you can tell, it's a really, really cool feature. If you were looking for a specific type of frequency, like race, fire, and stuff like that. Now, if you leave it on one station, pretty much what it's doing is right now is just searching through all the frequencies of the category frequency that you chose when it hears like a signal, and so that's why it stops, because there's a signal on that particular frequency of the category, and once that signal stops, it will continue searching through until it hears another signal with the category that you chose. So it's a really, really useful feature, and I definitely really like that feature. If you don't have a particular frequency for what type of category you're looking for, which is a pretty cool idea. Now, when I had the function button engaged when I was pressing the SVC button, you might have noticed when I pressed the knob, it did say SQL on the screen, and that's your squelch. So let me go ahead and quickly talk about the squelch. Now I'll just put it back on the oh, I didn't want to turn that on. Let me go ahead and just put it on my, or you know what, let's just put it on back to weather and then just switch to my normal frequent. Oh, didn't want to turn that on. There we go. So let me go ahead and show you guys something with the squelch. So like I said, it allows you to be able to capture weaker signals more than stronger signals in the area. So if you were to go ahead and press the function button and then press squelch, you can control your squelch to 15 all the way down to 0. Now, I don't recommend going to 0 or 1, because if you go to 1 or 0, this is what happens. Now let me make sure I have the volume. Okay, good. So let me go ahead and press the function button again. There we go. So if you were to go below 1 or 0, this is what happens. A very loud static noise, because when you have it below 0 or 1, it starts creating that noise because the squelch is only pretty much supposed to be on the lowest number without your scanner making that noise. Now, if there were a signal to go through like at 1, even though there's all that static going on, you would still be able to hear what they're saying, but then immediately after they stop talking, that static would continue on. So I do recommend having your squelch like 2, and maybe if your scanner does allow you to go to 1, do not go to 0, because there would be nothing to capture. And as you can tell, you did hear some activity go on the frequency, but obviously it's not does not sound good right now, because I'm in the basement and because there's a lot of obstructions blocking the signal to go straight to my scanner. Obviously it doesn't sound so great. So with that being said, that's pretty much what it comes down to the scanner. Now I do want to go ahead and show you guys one more thing you didn't notice in the background, and that is this antenna right here, which is the thing that I said would help the current stock state of my scanner. And that's because while the normal antenna on the scanner does a pretty good job of being able to capture mostly all types of signals like fire, weather, and stuff like that, the bad thing about this antenna is that it doesn't do a good job of capturing the weaker signals, and so that's why you need to invest in getting a longer scanner so you can be able to capture the weaker signals a lot more easier and have more range, so you can be able to capture those weaker signals a lot more clearly. So before we go ahead and take this one off, let me go ahead and show you guys the antenna that I went ahead and bought, which is highly recommended as one of the best antennas you can get for the Uniden Bearcat models. So this is the Diamond Attenna model RH77CA. This is a 2-meter-70 centimeter antenna for receiving and transmitting, and 120-150-300-450-800-900 megahertz bands receiving antenna for handheld transceivers. It also says down here, I'm gonna have to move the antenna to show you guys right here. So it does say gain 2.15 decibels, 70 centimeters max power rating 10 watts, impedance 50 ohms, connector BNC, type 1/4 wavelength 2 meters, 1/2 wavelength radialis 70 centimeters, 8-band coverage, 2 amateur bands plus 6 more bands for receiving. Diamond Attenna Corporation. So this is a highly recommended antenna to get for your Uniden Bearcat scanners. I definitely searched online to see which was the best type of antenna to get for this particular type of scanners, and this one was definitely the highest recommended ones for your handheld scanners. So as you can tell, it is relatively longer than the stock antenna, and as you can tell on the side, it does say Diamond Attenna RH77CA, and then 2 meter 70 centimeter and wideband receiving coverage. So it is extremely to know that the connector that's on your scanner, because if you do order the wrong type of connector, it's obviously not going to work on your scanner. So you want to make sure, especially with the Uniden Bearcat scanners, that you get a BNC connector antenna, or else it won't be compatible with your scanners. So all you have to do is just screw this thing off and pull it out, and that's what the BNC connector looks like. It's pretty much a needle in the middle, and then it does have these special design on the side to be able to screw this on and screw it off easily, and also be nice and secure on your connector. Now this is what the connector looks like on this scanner. There's 2 pins on the side, and then it simply just screws in with the design. And as you can tell on the back of the Diamond Antenna, it's pretty much the exact same design. So all you have to do is just slap it on, twist it, and you're good to go. That's that simple. And when I used this thing, this was definitely a huge improvement than the stock antenna. Now, if I have to use this antenna for weather, obviously it did capture a pretty good job when I'm in the basement, but when I have to use this scanner for railfanning, I'll definitely go to this one because it does a fantastic job for what I'm using it for. So with that being said, that's going to pretty much do it for this overview. Not a review, but an overview, because obviously, like I said, I'm not an expert when it comes to scanners. I'm still a pretty huge amateur when it comes to this, so this was kind of just like a showcase, I guess, if you could say that. So with that being said, that's going to pretty much do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed, and with that being said, thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys in the next video. See you guys next time.